Bills Mafia, you know what time it is. A little bit more Buffalo Bills free agency news as we are, day 2, about halfway through the free agency period. My name is Trace Moustakis, filling in today for Mr. Tyler Smith, but I am here to break down some of the most recent free agent signings for the Buffalo Bills, starting with, of course, Mr. Michael Hoecht from the Los Angeles Rams, who signed a 3-year, $21 million deal, but can max out at $24 million. So he's got about $3 million worth of incentives that he can climb. And this is exactly why you hit the subscribe button. I know we say it all the time here on the Bills Breakdown, but this is the truth. When Buffalo Bills news happens, we are the first to cover it. It's just that simple. That's what we do here at Chat Sports. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. It is 100% free. We have got you covered all season long. That includes the draft. That includes the season and everything in between. So let's talk a little bit more about Michael Hoecht as he signed with the Bills. Here's what he actually tweeted out. What a ride. Undrafted out of Brown, which is true. He would know that better than anybody. Practice squad to special teams to starter with the Rams. And now it's go time with Buffalo. The Canadian is coming home. Bills Mafia, let's win the whole damn thing. Man, I really love that stuff, man. So here's a look at his contract. He's got that 3-year, $21 million deal, $13.43 million guaranteed with 2 void years. And look, Hoecht is not necessarily one of the standout players, especially at the linebacker position. This is a depth pick also for the Bills. After we locked up Greg Rousseau and Terrell Bernard, this is why we're bringing in Hoecht, right? He's going to start. I mean, let's be clear. He's not going to ride the bench, but he's not a overly productive player, right? You don't pay a guy $21 million for him to sit the bench. But he's also not going to be a guy that's going to go out and get you 100 tackles. This is exactly the kind of area that he lives in, right? That 50 tackles, 3 sacks, 4 tackles for loss. He is a nice addition to the linebacker room, and that's why you bring him in. This is what the free agency market is all about, especially for the Bills, where we've seen they have been targeting defense primarily throughout free agency. They locked up Greg Rousseau, locked up Terrell Bernard. Now we've got Michael Hoecht. We have made some offensive moves, and we're going to get to one other sneaky good one here in just a little bit. But take a look at the last 4 seasons for Michael Hoecht. He has been sensational in 2023, but it's kind of up and down, right? 2021, we don't have to really look at that. But 2022, he kind of comes into the league, and he's like, okay, starts to find his footing, goes completely way up in the positive direction in 2023, and then back down to earth a little bit back in 2024. So my prediction for him next season, probably somewhere around the 50 tackle mark. And a good season for him would be 65 tackles, 4.5 tackles for loss, maybe 2 or 3 sacks. And look, if you can get that out of a player that you're only having to pay $21 million for, you'll take it, right? So congrats, Michael Hoecht. Welcome to Buffalo and to the Bills Mafia family. And congratulations, my friend. You absolutely deserved it. Now on to some more offensive free agency news. This is the most recent for the Buffalo Bills. Darrynton Evans from the Chicago Bears is signing with the Buffalo Bills. Now, the contract details, I'm going to be fully transparent with you. They haven't really come out yet, so I have no idea what this is going to look like. But I'm going to be fully honest with you. As someone who knows a little bit about the Bears, I can tell you this wholeheartedly. Darrynton Evans is not really going to see the field unless it's on special teams. That's kind of what he's turned into, as a special teams kind of player. 2024, he only had 3 carries. So he's not even an RB really 3. He's more of an RB 4 who, if 1 and 2 are hurt and you need a third down back, you'll probably bring him in. So this is clearly just a depth signing for the Buffalo Bills. Somebody that can play in a pinch if you absolutely need him to, but somebody that you can also move to special teams, and that never hurts any team in the NFL. Special teams is probably what I consider, it's like the mid-range in the NBA. It's the lost art of the NFL. It often goes overlooked with all of the flash of offense and the structural integrity of defense. So adding a guy like Evans to the special teams is going to do not wonders, but Is it a nice little addition? Yes, of course. Now, again, I really don't necessarily know that we have a lot to talk about with his production in 2024. He only played in 5 games, and like I said, only carried the ball 3 times. So I'm not really going to sit here and talk too much about what Darrynton Evans brings to the table as a running back, because truth be told, it's not much. But we will break down here in just a second all of the Buffalo Bills free agent signings up to this point. And I think it's clear what Buffalo's trying to do. They are adding and spending correctly and wisely in the defense. And this is because we know that at 13-4 and with Josh Allen's unbelievable new contract, we obviously know that Buffalo can hang with the best of them in terms of putting up points. But stopping the run, getting after the quarterback, getting better in coverage, these are the things that Sean McDermott has said we need to put more of an emphasis on. Teams in free agency just don't spend money willy-nilly. You spend it for a reason. So I look at what the Bills are doing with the Greg Rousseau move, the Terrell Bernard move. All of these things have indicated to me that Buffalo is serious about getting better on defense, and that's exactly what they need to be focusing on. So here's what I want to know. I want to know your one-word reaction to these signings. I'm going to think of mine right here. I'm going to say necessary. Necessary because, one, you're adding more defensive depth. You're adding somebody that can give you even more production on the defensive front. And special teams with Darrynton Evans is just kind of a nice little addition. It's kind of like a safety blanket, right? It's that extra $10, $20 that you put in the piggy bank just for a rainy day. That's kind of how I view the Darrynton Evans signing. Now, if we take a look here at the Bills' free agency signings up until this point, they have been very, very active. Re-signed Khalil Shakir, Terrell Bernard, Greg Rousseau, we talked about them. That massive Josh Allen contract, which, by the way, I have a feeling down the road is going to get restructured simply because it's the largest deal I think I've ever seen. 6 years, $330 million is insanity. But again, you're talking about an MVP, one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever lace it up, not only for the Bills, but maybe in NFL history. I mean, he's certainly been the most productive out of any quarterback that's entered the league, maybe other than Lamar Jackson. And then finally, yesterday, we had Joshua Palmer signing that 3-year, $36 million deal. Another wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4 combo. Again, not a guy that's going to, turn the field loose and everyone's going to go, whoa, it's Josh Palmer. But also adding even more depth, just piling on brick by brick by brick. And that's what you got to love to see, especially from a team that, I mean, when you're 13-4, what else do you really have? I mean, you're great, right? So how do you get better from great? Well, it's just like this. It's adding these pieces. It's adding the Michael Hoechts, the Darrynton Evans, the frosting on the cake. That is how you take it to the next level. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to grade these 2 Bills signings. Give it an A, give it a B, give it a C, give it a D, or give it an F. All the things considered, these last 2 signings, I'll give a solid B-. And not B- like, it's not about the players, but in terms of what you're actually getting, the product obviously could be better. Right? We're not saying that these guys are deal breakers for the Bills. I feel like the Bills would be a whole lot better. Not a whole lot better. The Bills would be just as well off if they didn't have these 2 guys. But again, it's just adding those necessary pieces. Now that's going to do it for us here on the Bills Breakdown. Remember to subscribe, like the video, share this with a friend. We are going to be bringing you all Bills coverage for the rest of free agency heading on into the NFL draft as it comes up just a few weeks away. Until then, my name is Moose. See you later.